Hello and welcome to Rock Paper Shotgun, where today we're taking a quick stroll through Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. This is the revamped version of the game due to turn up on August the 31st. If you own the original game on PC, it's a free update, or you can buy it outright. Now, I've grown to be suspicious of definitive packages in the past. Often they're just a heap of Season Pass content, bundled in with the original game, warts and all. But the team at Larian doesn't do things by half measures. This is a game that featured about 1 million words in its original script, and about 150,000 of those have been rewritten and many of them re-recorded for this new edition. That obviously amounts to quite a mountain of changes, so let's whip through some of the biggies. As always, I'd be overjoyed if you'd subscribe to the channel before we push on. We cover all things PC gaming related, so do click on that weird bell symbol to get notified about our new videos. But enough of that, let's get definitive. Of the 150,000 words added, a large portion of those will be found in the City of Arcs, which you visit in the third act of the game. One of the more common criticisms of Original Sin 2 is that after 2 acts of making lots of juicy decisions, and feeling the consequences of your actions slowly accumulate, the latter stages of the story don't give you enough of a payoff. It's something I like to call Mass Effect 3 syndrome. Some of the new tweaks relate to the connective tissue between smaller quests. A quest such as the Silent One, where you dealt with a possessed child in Act 2, will now have a fuller ending that plays out in Act 3, for example. On a larger scale, you'll see one of the game's key antagonists, who'll remain nameless for the sake of spoilers, get a far meatier lead-in through dialogue and references throughout the world. When a villain reveals himself, the reaction shouldn't be, who are you again? And so these alterations should eliminate some of that puzzlement.
The rebellion is in danger. You are in danger.
One of the bigger changes, and the focus of our recent demo, is how the team have tweaked the events of Beast's origin story to give it the conclusion it deserves. For those unfamiliar with the game, you can opt to play as a custom character or one of 6 named heroes, who each have a personal questline running through the adventure. In Beast's case, it all comes to a head in Arcs, where he uncovers a dwarven conspiracy involving a deeply unpleasant substance called death fog. Now, here's a top tip for any wannabe villains out there. If you want to keep your plans better hidden from do-gooders, don't draw attention to them by naming your key ingredient death fog. You can have that piece of advice for free. Now, all this death fog fun was in Original Sin 2, but it kind of came out of nowhere. There were subtle hints of dwarves up to no good, but come the grand reveal, it was all too possible for you to stumble on it, with no real idea of what was going on. In the Definitive Edition, the quest is given more shape. Talk to the right characters as Beast in Arcs, and you'll find new dialogue options that introduce characters involved in the deadly plot, and be given keys that make it easier to get past doors blocking those events. In the world of Original Sin, you can always find alternate routes and solutions, but there is a real sense of the game nudging you in the direction of exciting drama. It's an interesting exercise in finessing an existing story. None of the core ingredients have changed, but they've been better established and embedded in the existing lore. For those who played as Beast and felt him a little undercooked, it will be a treat to see him getting better recognised. His whole story revolves around abandoning his past life, so getting a sense of stepping back into that previous life should be a fun new character beat. Or you might just end up drowning in the death fog, like we did.
Careful, I've spotted a trap. Better give it a wide berth.
During the demo, I hear a lot about laying breadcrumbs, which are the dialogue lines or environmental details Larian used to fill out your understanding of the world. This isn't a game that bludgeons you over the head with cutscenes after all. The balancing act is saturating the world with story beats, but without it becoming obvious or inorganic. The problem with Arcs actually lay at the other end of the scale. It wasn't saturated enough, and so wasn't always clear why things were happening. One area that gets a liberal sprinkling of breadcrumbs is the sewers under Arcs. For starters, it's more labyrinthine, with a new layout forcing you to sniff around in trap-filled rooms. In the original game, you could just walk a few steps to a ladder, but now you are getting trapped inside cages and trying to negotiate fields of exploding teddy bears. Why exploding bears? Well, I imagine it's more fun for designers to draw a bear than some kind of barrel with a fuse. but it also helps foreshadow the gang of lovable urchins you later find living in the sewers. They've been booby-trapping the area to protect their home. Discovering a stash of bears in their home is a very subtle tweak, but it does take the weirdness out of finding a random gang of kids living in this total dump. Descend deeper into the sewers and you discover more of a visual makeover, one that turns them from generic dank dungeon to something more sewer-like. Is it technically a makeover if you make a place look deliberately shabbier? A make-under, perhaps? These visual tweaks have a more practical application when you reach this arrow trap. If you look carefully, you can now see that one floor tile is slightly different to the others, hinting at its purpose within the puzzle. Okay, it's an almost microscopic change, and not one they'll be shouting about from the back of the box, but I kinda dig the surgical eye Larian have applied to their level changes. To be honest, we're seeing many of Definitive Edition's changes due to the game coming out on console for the first time. It's a good opportunity to address criticisms, but it also means we benefit from some streamlining introduced to help those playing on a pad. You've probably noticed the changes to the user interface on the dialogue boxes, but a far more useful change comes in the inventory system. The new menu now shows all your party's inventory at once, meaning you don't have to scroll through different tabs to remember what everyone has in their pockets. It's less like a round of Kim's game and more like sensible team management. You can also select multiple items in one go when you want to transfer them between party members, which is much friendlier than having to hand items over one by one. Another big change, particularly for the poor chaps who had to rewrite the damn thing, is the revamped journal. They've added a lore section separate to the mission log that collates all the information and hints you learn as you pursue quests. In the original game, these are mixed together, leading to some confusion about what are quest objectives to be completed and general quest colour designed to pad out your understanding. It's probably going to speak more to those who toiled away for hundreds of hours with the old journal, but it's a good quality of life improvement. Another benefit of Larian's console work is that they get to make texture improvements to get the game running to its target frame rates on Xbox and PS4, and this streamlining has made the PC version apparently run 4 times faster in places. I should note that what you are currently watching is Xbox One X capture. It has a 60 frames per second target and resolution set to 1080p for purposes of this capture. At the time of making this video, we've not had the PC version to test, so I'm intrigued to see exactly where these benefits are felt. The original version was quite CPU heavy and could lead to stuttering performance on even hefty machines, so I'd love to see all that ironed out. If I'm going to die horribly in some death fog, I want my passing to be as smooth as possible, damn it.
The world is being torn asunder.
Of course, the really important bit, the change that single-handedly justifies Definitive Edition, is Sir Lora, the Squirrel Knight. He's not a new playable character, but an animal companion, not unlike the Black Cat that you can enlist in the early acts of the game. If you have the Pet Pal ability to talk to animals, and what kind of monster doesn't equip it, you will be able to understand Sir Lora when you meet him. Apparently, he thinks he's enlisting you as his quest companions, as he sets out to stop the Great Acorn, which is the Squirrel version of the Apocalypse. He's not an active hero to control in battle, but adds colour to lots of situations and gives you some recipes. I mean, come on, it's not like we really need any excuse to keep a doom-mongering squirrel in our party. He's technically a pre-order bonus, but if you already own Original Sin 2 or buy it before the free Definitive Edition update, you get him for free on PC. And that's a very quick run through of what to expect from Definitive Edition when Original Sin 2 updates later in August. Now I listen back to it, I wonder if I should have led with the Squirrel Apocalypse. It's just very hard to concentrate on new user interface updates when you're thinking about the end of the world. Anyway, I hope you found this useful/interesting. If you have any questions about the update left to be answered, just ask them in the comments and I'll try to find the answers. Please do press the thumbs up button if you like this video, and I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. I think we'll do a big Original Sin 2 Let's Play when the game comes out, so you've got that to look forward to. Hopefully we'll see you around these parts soon. Goodbye!